How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Nightwalker's book number 4. This is written by Cullen Bunn and put out by SourcePoint Press, and overall, this book is something I've been consistently happy with, you know? It's one of those books that whenever I see it on the shelf, I'm like, oh boy, another one of Nightwalker's is out. It's a essentially vampire-like creature comic. I'm not 100% sure what is up with these guys, but an interesting and fresh take on a classic creature. I really did love that. And now seeing what is essentially the end of, I'm betting, the first trade paperback, they don't have, clear defined, like, this is the end of this plot arc or anything. But the way that this issue ends, I think this is the end of the first trade. Plus, there's not a date in the back for the next thing. So I'm kind of thinking we might go on a bit of a break before book 5 comes out. It's a big moment, but clearly not the end of the comic, So I am really curious where it goes from here. But basically, our main character is essentially on her own. Her last friend is bit, and boy is she an ooey gooey mess right now. It is, if you guys like ooey gooey horror art, this is a good creature. So her last friend is turning, and in her panic, she reminisces on her past, including surreal memories of her therapy sessions, which get down a little deeper into the root of her character and what might have happened, some drama there. Overall, a good new chunk of the story. With this book, I'm constantly feeling like I'm learning a little bit about a world that I know chunks of but is presented differently, and just slowly digging deeper and deeper, finding out more and more about what this book is really about. And here is a good chunk, a good piece, and as hinted on the cover, a fun hourglass motif to it. Overall, I really like this chapter. It's a good, and again, I don't know this for sure, I'm betting this will be the last chapter in the first trade paperback, and it's an interesting place to stop it. Really curious what's going to happen in issue 5. Can't wait for it. And I'm hoping that there's not too long of a break. That is kind of a thing with indie comics, is sometimes they go on a break between plot arcs, and who knows how long that's going to be. I really wish that they had in the back of the book a date when this is coming back. But anyway, as it stands now, pretty cool. Always love to read this book. Can't wait for more. Without further ado, if you guys want to see a little bit more about this story, I'm going to switch to the close-up camera. I'll show you guys a little bit of the art, a little bit of the story, but I'll be avoiding major spoilers. So if you want to take a little bit of a look at this release, without further ado, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at Cullen Bunn's Nightwalkers. And right off the bat, I gotta say, I love this cover here. We get the hourglass with the top draining down, and we can see a person getting sucked in, and then the menacing hand, and on the other side, the hourglass is red. We also got this intentional wear here. I didn't smudge the cover, it came like that. And we crack it open, and we get the Nightwalker's credit page, written by Cullen Bunn, art and cover by Joe Bocardo, and the rest of the credits there. Once again, this is a $3.99 book, 00411, and for whatever reason on the back this time, they used the issue 1 cover. I thought they were changing with every cover, but I guess they didn't have that for this one. Anyway, after that, let's go into the story proper. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what the book's generally about. But again, I won't go too terribly far. We do open up with the past. This girl is chanting a ritual to an old group of vampires in a forbidden language. And it turns out the vampires had someone who was supposed to wake them up, but let them sleep and fed off their power. So now they're awake and ready to run amok again. And I have to say, these old vampires do have a really creepy design with that, no nose and tiny, tiny teeth. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's a major chunk of the past story there. We know that, and I am curious who the woman is and how it will unfold. It looks a little like the main character, but she never references this happening. I have a few ideas who that might be. But anyway, in the present, we see the girl confronting her friend who, she got bit, and she's not looking good. And, she's worried, your turn, you're gonna kill me, and she says, it's not my fault. And then, oh, I know, no one's blaming you. So yeah, kind of tying the drug stuff into the vampire stuff there, you have someone turning, it's just the situation, and we do get these points when the dialogue will change to things that she said to the girl, because these versions of vampires repeat you. So yeah, what's going on with that, I don't know, but that's an indicator that she is turning. And yeah, look at that messy face. Not going to go great. But a lot of the highlight with this issue is the past with therapy and her memory of it. She's talking to the doctor, and his face starts to get lost in the darkness. And it's all about the sister and how she doesn't want people to pity her, but she blames herself, and what exactly happened there. And then we get this hourglass that he uses to measure time, and that's going to be sort of this thing that goes into her hallucination. She'll start to see the sand coming out of the hourglass and forming this figure, and the top of his head that's lost in the shadows might start to trail off too. Very cool, surreal imagery, and yeah, it gets pretty crazy in this flashback sequence. Of course, the whole book's not in the flashback, and she's going to have to figure out what to do with her friend, but we will cut back to that several times. And yeah, so most of the story between those two segments, and again, I won't spoil it, but it does have a very end of volume 1 feeling to the end of this book, and you're still wondering what exactly these vampire-like creatures are, and what's going on with the world and what all happened in the past segment. I am very curious, but this really does feel like the end of a volume 1. Interesting stuff, crazy visuals, and the present focusing mainly on what to do with that last friend of yours there. Overall, I really liked it, and this is a comic that, I always say this, I know I like, but whenever I see it on the shelves, I'm like, oh man, Nightwalkers is out, that's cool. So, can't wait to issue 5, and hope there's not too much of a wait for it. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Cullen Bunn playlist, where you can see my reviews for a lot of Cullen Bunn's other stories. I have Volume 1 of Harrow County reviewed, a really good underrated book, The Unsane, but also the past issues of this. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.